Amy Sue is definitely one of our most special cases. She was actually a surprise volunteer. Around a week before Jeffrey Tyler's death, he ran away from us. But in a couple of days we found him, with a little girl whom he told her everything we did to him. So we grabbed her and Jeffrey, and drove back to their new home. Even though we didn't intend to test Amy at first, we figured that it would be wasteful not to. And were we ever so glad we did. She was exemplary with her results, gaining all the positive attributes, and none of the negative, unlike Jeffrey and Angela. Positive attributes included increased strength. She was eventually able to do incredible feats of strength. It did make us have to buckle down on the restraints though. Increased speed. She was able to outrun full-grown golden retrievers. Limb and organ regeneration. She was able to survive fatal injuries to her internal organs and exterior limbs. Increased flexibility. Amy had gotten to the point where she could contort her body to fit into small spaces and blend in. Unfortunately, there was one little issue, and that was Amy didn't want to continue testing at first. But eventually she lost the ability to object to our procedures. Drastic times call for desperate measures when you are a pioneer of scientific discovery. After 7 years under our care, Amy did unfortunately begin to experience minor negative mutations similar to Jeffrey, possibly due to the excessive exposure to radiation and starvation. Negative behavioral changes include extreme aggression, acute cannibalism, panic attacks, extreme depression, extreme desperation, violent lash-outs, and self-harm. Then she had started to gain abnormal physical changes to her body. She started to have excessive weight loss and her bones started growing and sharpening at the ends. This is most apparent in her wrists. After growing and sharpening, they caused her hands to fall off and the wrists acted like long razor-sharp spikes. Amy's skin became leathery and coarse. Her neck thickened and elongated to the point of Amy developing a minor hunch and acute poor posture. Amy then experienced total hair loss, and her head grew to unnatural proportions, developing a muzzle-like growth on her face, similar to the skull of a horse. Her jaw also began to grow into a position that is identical to a big smile. Amy's teeth began to multiply and grow, barely fitting her gums. Her eyes darkened and sank deep into her skull, hindering her sight. And her throat grew to such a mass it nullified her communication. She could only growl and roar. Even though we have a very limited staff here, we value each of our helpers' safety, including precautions dealing with our most recent subject, Amy Sue. So we have incorporated a section in this tape dedicated to keep our staff safe and happy from our special girl. If you are the one of our staff on watch duty, and if Amy becomes aggressive and wiggles out of containment, just remember, Amy loves to play games with the staff. When it is just you two there, the first thing you should do is figure out if you're able to call for backup. Hide and seek is her favorite game, and if you cannot get anyone to help you calm her down, just remember that she isn't. Call for backup, then find an effective place to hide while you wait for their arrival. Or hide and wait to call for backup when you are positive that you're safe, then go back into hiding, and wait for help. Confronting Amy when she is in one of her moods by yourself is highly unsuggested. When you are on Amy duty, it is your responsibility to make sure Amy does not leave your sight. But we understand accidents happen, and know exactly what to do if Amy wishes to hide from you. She will only hide if she feels overwhelmed or outnumbered, so stay in a group when looking for Amy if she left containment. Amy has been doing this for a long time, and with her newfound abilities, makes her a really good hider. Places you usually hides in are under tables, under the floor, inside ventilation shafts, inside cabinets, behind walls, inside the walls, inside clothing, inside furniture, mannequins, refrigerators, etc. When you find her, be careful and prevent any threatening movements that might aggravate her. The last thing you need is poor little Amy to be more angry. If you are arriving to help someone on Amy duty, and you find minor things out of place like walls destroyed, scratches on the furniture, what's left of the corpse of the staff member who called for help, or broken light bulbs, don't panic, and just look for Amy carefully. Thank you for listening to this track. When we gain more information, we shall log it down on our other tapes. Just remember, if you do leak any of what you do here to your loved ones, friends, or just people you know, we understand accidents happen, and we also know that Amy's second favorite game is chase. Darling, I have only one desire.
Hello, this is Officer Andrew.